Kyle's frustrating, but I am enjoying the season. I do like this season.
It's in the middle for me right now.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not like excited to watch it every week. It's just kind of there.
I'm not excited to watch it, but I enjoy it while I'm watching it. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at with it.
I think that's kind of generally how we feel when we're watching Beverly Hills until it gets to episode like 24 and we're still not doing
Then
it.
it's too much.
Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Mr. Goots himself. What's up, dude?
Senor Goots to you, buddy.
El Gooterino.
I'm only doing that because Kyle was speaking Spanish at one point and I had to double check to make sure who it was.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
And I don't know why that stuck with me, but that tends to happen during these shows.
Yeah, and this is also our second episode of the day. As you know, things get a little off kilter.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a new one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Stilter.
nah,
No.
we were good.
Yeah.
No, you ruined it now. But yeah, I don't hate this season. I think that it's just, I think I figured it out. The last few seasons have been marred and held down by Kyle's inability to do anything else but what she's done for the past 3 years.
Right.
And that is frustrating. That is really frustrating. And that can pull this entire show down. But I just, maybe it's just because it's Beverly Hills. There's something about it.
I know what it is and why I am where I am.
Why?
It's not anything that we've watched so far because I would agree thus far, it's actually been pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Because we're finally getting some retribution for all of those painful seasons that Kyle put us through.
Yeah.
She's finally having to face the music, which is great. But by the end of this episode, I know, and the mid-season trailer as well, which I'm sure everybody has watched at this point, this season's going to turn into going after Sutton.
Well, I kind of, here's the difference, though, that we might get from this season, that I hope we get from this season.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
It appears that she's taking on the villain role. Like because in the past we've seen her take some shit, and yeah, it was probably self-inflicted and deserved because she says stupid shit. Love her to death, but she puts her foot in her mouth. It appears that it's almost, and they could have cut it that way, but in the mid-season trailer, it looks like she's the one bringing it on herself. Like she's much more outspoken.
Yeah.
Again, could be production. We don't know.
Have faith in the ability of Sutton to do that and withstand it.
Well, let's hope that maybe with Tilly being involved, I don't know.
I don't think Tilly's going to come to her defense.
No, but she has like just support there.
Yeah.
No, we've seen Tilly already be like, yeah, no, that I love her, but yeah, that's a perfect way to describe her. When someone described, I forgot the word they used was, but I don't know. I think that's going to make or break the season because we've seen people team up against Sutton. It wasn't great.
Yeah, like if we're done with the Kyle stuff,
I'm elated. I'm elated if that's
I'm
true.
fine with it. And my worry is that it's just going to go back to business as usual for Kyle. We're like, yeah, she's still obviously going through a lot with Mauricio and the kids and the empty nest and whatever. But if we just kind of turn away from all of that.
No, I want to see her make conscious decisions and efforts to not do the same bullshit.
I think she's going to go right back to her safe space, which is doing nothing.
Oh, she will.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm saying what I hope happens.
I know.
Hope.
I think that is why, and it's literally just this one episode. I'm like, I don't know if I like where this is going.
It could be. Look, time will tell. It's the mid-season trailer, which means we're looking at 18 episodes potentially. But let's get into this one. We start out with Kyle. I'll say it every time. I'll highlight it every time. This was a built-in storyline.
Yep.
She could have done a lot with this because she's home alone. It's sad. Her daughter calls her. How's the car? Car's amazing. What are you up to? Oh, well, me and the sisters might go to lunch. Ooh, where are you going to lunch? Fuck. Mom wants to come to lunch. I don't want Mom to come to lunch.
Told her about lunch. My sisters are gonna kill me.
Yeah, Mom's gonna cramp our style.
I love that her reaction to it is to go to a confessional and say, which is great, by the way.
Yes.
All of my daughters are now leaning on each other so that they can talk about things that everybody else is talking about, that me and her father are going through. But like, I'm right here. You can invite me. It's like, oh, Kyle.
It's so sad.
Sad, but like, you answered your own question.
100%.
We need to talk away from you guys.
Yeah, but again, I'm watching it. I'm like, dude, this was built in.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yep.
But then she FaceTimes Erica. And Erica's sentiment, I agree with a little bit, where she's like, look, at this point, there's too many people involved between you and Dorit, and you guys need to hash this shit out by yourselves. I agree with that, but Erica's quote-unquote neutrality does seem to be leaning more towards Team Kyle than it
Her
does towards Dorit.
neutrality is that she's tired of dealing with it.
Yeah, which is fair.
She says it by the end of the episode. She's
says
like, I'm
it
just
6
fucking
times.
tired of this shit.
We all are.
We all are.
We all are. So
I agree with you, Erica.
yeah, you're not wrong, but it's interesting to hear Kyle's take on this whole thing because she's still in the victim mentality. She's like, this is the worst I've ever felt in this group. It's like, you brought it on yourself, dude, so I don't know why. And she's going to hear what I have to say, and then I'm done with it. Why do you think you get to dictate this one? And I know that's your MO. You think that you're the HBIC, and for all intents and purposes, you have been for a very long time. I'll give you that prop. But why in this moment you're texting her husband and you wrote an ambiguous text that you then shared with the group, which again is baffling because you're the one that screenshotted it. You could have picked any other text. You could have picked a meme.
Yeah.
That would have made this whole thing much easier. But you read out loud, and I really truly think this is what happened. I think she screenshotted the text, thought it did a good job of explaining, didn't like proofread it, and as she was reading it out loud, got to that sentence and said it, and was probably like, fuck, and then just kept going.
She did it twice, too.
Yeah.
Because the
Because
second
at that
time was
point, you
even
have
worse.
to. Well,
Yeah.
you have to at that point.
And look, I still think that maybe she was in her own head about it the first time when she's doing it at Chuck E. Cheese, reading it to the rest of the
Such a
girls.
funny
It's such a
sentence.
funny sentence. When she's reading it to the girls, she's like, she goes right through it. She
Yeah.
doesn't really hesitate at the one line. She doesn't see anything wrong with it. That is the real problem here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she reiterates later. I don't see anything wrong with any of this. I've known him for 7 years. We talk about stuff. It's okay. We don't talk about your relationship. I
But you
swear.
said it was just
Whatever.
memes and jokes.
Yeah, it's just memes and jokes. And then you immediately switch and say, here's a paragraph I sent to him. That's not a meme.
Or a joke.
And then when she finally hears what everybody else is saying, it's still in her head. She has to take the stance of, I'm going to stand by this because I can't take it back.
No.
So I'm just going to gaslight the other person into thinking there's nothing wrong with this.
You guys are making me feel like I did something wrong. I didn't do anything
Yeah.
wrong. It's like, yeah, you did.
You did.
You did. And it's a very easy
Take
thing.
ownership.
That's probably why this one's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's so easy to squash.
Yeah.
Hey, I overstepped. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Won't do it again.
She apologizes for all the wrong things.
Dorit wants to be your friend more than anything else in this world.
It's the easiest way to do it.
You just have
Just
to.
like you have the easiest built-in storyline,
Yes.
you also have the easiest route back to being a friend with Dorit.
Just take an iota of accountability.
Yep.
Even if you don't believe it.
Yep.
Just do it.
Shouldn't
But-
have sent that. It was too ambiguous. You know what I meant. Cool.
All right. I won't do it again.
Yep.
Period. That's all Dorit needs to hear, as we see later on the beach. That was a half-assed apology. And Dorit's like,
Still took it.
hug, touch
I'm
me,
fucking
for the
tired
love
of
of
this.
God.
This is the longest I've ever had to sustain any sort of actual anger towards anybody.
I'm
me a
exhausted.
hug.
Just hug me and let's move on from this. So that's been the frustrating part. But you get Dorit with Bose. And thank God for Bose being in Dorit's life because, look,
Yeah.
you might not be Dorit's biggest fan. There's a lot of people out there saying that Dorit's drumming up all this just for the show. You can say what you'd like, but you cannot deny that this woman has needed a real friend on this show for a very long time.
Yeah, she has.
Because everybody, it's like tongue in cheek when they talk to her. Everyone talks shit about her being long winded, that what she's saying has no substance. And okay, fine, maybe they're right in a lot of ways, but not right now. She's going through a lot of shit, and we see her counterpart in PK, who's such a dick that, like, yeah, she's fucking struggling. And to see somebody like Bose, all Bose is doing, by the way,
Listening.
she's being nice, just
Providing a
listening.
little bit of commentary.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just some support.
She actually seems interested in what she's saying.
Yeah, like paying attention to the
Bare
conversation,
minimum.
reacting,
Mhm.
and that's a big one because later I'm going to talk about the lack of
yeah.
reaction.
Mhm.
She's just reacting.
Yep.
And also, Dorit, props to her when they sit down. She's like, "Let's talk about you, Bose. I
Yep.
want to hear about you." I'm like, "That's big from Dorit."
That is huge from Dorit.
Yeah, that's a big move. And Bose is like, "No, you know what? Let's talk about you," because Bose recognizes I'm not in this shit.
Yep.
You are, Dorit. Let's hear it. Let's hear what you got going on. And she's like, "Bose is my ride or die." She gives good advice. It's so nice to finally have a friend with my best interest at heart. And I'm like, you've been on the show for how long?
Yeah.
And it's taken this long. That's a bummer. I feel bad for you. And I think
Dorit's one of those people too that like I don't see her having many friends outside of the show.
a big part of that is probably her relationship with Kyle.
Yeah.
On and off the show.
Definitely.
Because so much of her time and energy has been put into keeping this friendship going because Kyle's not reciprocating. So it's been all on Dorit, and I'm sure that's made her other friendships muddy. So here you go. You've got an actual friend, and Bo's, she just pays attention. And so they start talking about the Kyle situation. This is why I really like Bo. One of the many reasons I like Bo's. She keeps receipts in the back of her mind, and she never lets slip to Kyle or anybody else that she's, curious about, maybe has some reservations about. She plays on the up and up with them, but meanwhile, she's just taking notes, and she's like, it's interesting because something keeps being said. You said that she was one of the first people that you spoke to about your problems with PK. Kyle claims that she didn't know about this until very recently.
Yep.
The best way to debunk this, let's roll the tape.
Let's roll the tape, production.
1 year ago,
Mm-hmm.
Dorit talking about Paul Kemsley
Very
with
candidly.
Kyle. Very out in the open, to the
Very
point that
direct.
Kyle responds with, yeah, I've had those moments in my marriage as well.
And look, Kyle can take the approach of, when Dorit came to me with that, I was already going through so much with Mo and all the other shit around my life, I didn't realize what was going on. But we're not going to get any sort of reaction from Kyle.
No, and also I
All it
wouldn't
would
have
take
believed
is
that.
one confessional. Yeah, and look, at this point with Kyle, I don't care if we believe it. We don't believe half the shit that she says.
Just fake it.
But if she
once.
fakes it and says it, then at least it's like, all right, you do remember things.
Is it somewhat endearing, her inability to just bite the bullet and move on? I don't think it is. I'm asking if you think it is.
No, I don't think. I was more so thinking if it could ever get there, because we've been doing it for so long. No, she's been doing it for so goddamn long that if that was the case, it would have reared its head at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever happens.
Yeah, well, Bo speaks for all of us when she goes to her confession. She's like, Kyle just continues to lie.
Mm-hmm.
And the depth of this stuff is getting crazy. She's like, if Kyle didn't want to look bad, she looks way worse now.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, that's kind of what she does. She does it all the time. Let's rewind to last year with all the Morgan Wade stuff, where she's claiming that she doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Everyone's questioning everything about her life. And then she comes out with a very raunchy,
Graphic?
sure, music video with Morgan Wade, the person in question. You invite Morgan Wade to everything. You get a tattoo on your body by Morgan Wade.
Yep.
So you call a lot of questions yourself, but then you're the victim. And that's what you're doing here. And Bo sees right through it. What I was not expecting was Dorit talking about the separation and how it came about. And I was pretty uncomfortable with the whole thing.
Yeah, I was very uncomfortable during this scene too.
So here's what happened. She went over to talk to PK, and PK had a sponsor with him. And his sponsor spoke on PK's behalf, telling Dorit that they need time apart.
Yeah.
So,
That's not what a sponsor does.
nope, from a recovery standpoint, here's the thing. Your sponsor can step in moments that can put your sobriety at risk. That's kind of your support system. You lean on them for stuff. They can communicate with people in your life.
Sure.
Now, as a recovering alcoholic who's very involved with this stuff, this is inappropriate because this is a major life decision. Now, if you have your sponsor there to be a third party and somewhat of a mediator to make sure that PK is not getting triggered, to make sure that he's staying mellow,
Yeah,
that's a different story.
Very different story.
For PK to go there and use this as, I'll just flat out say it, an excuse to not have the conversation is what it feels like to me.
Yeah, he's a huge pussy.
Yeah, because if you want to, again, I don't have a problem so much with the sponsor being there because I know
Yeah,
how,
I agree with it on that extent. Yeah.
it's just the fact that he voiced your words in the whole thing.
He broke up with Dorit.
Yeah,
The sponsor did.
that's weird.
That's bizarre to me.
And that's not a great move. And I every time something comes out more and more, I feel worse and worse for Dorit in the spot that she's in.
She didn't even see it coming.
She doesn't even know if it was PK's idea or the sponsor's idea. And that's also inappropriate because that should be flat out. Because here's the other part of this thing that is probably a little gray for some people. It is what it is. The sponsor very well might have said, hey, this is a detriment to your sobriety. Your marriage in its current state is not helpful to you.
Right.
You need to take a step back. That actually is something that could definitely happen and would be appropriate for somebody going through that. Okay. Now, again, that does not mean that Dorit should be left to ponder whose idea was this? Where is this coming from? If the sponsor had PK's best interest at heart and everybody's best interest at heart, he'd say, hey, we discussed this since you're speaking for PK. I felt it was necessary for him to take a step back. He agreed with me. That's what we're doing. Instead, he goes, you're separated. Bye. That's not what sponsors do.
Yeah, no.
But whatever. I just feel bad for Dorit, man.
Yeah, so do I. It's a weird situation.
Sure is. But we get Garcel and Sutton in their FaceTiming, and the best thing to come out from this season, I really like these scenes because they're calling Kyle out for all of her shit.
Oh, yeah.
They're not sugarcoating anything. Kyle wants to have dinner tonight before everyone goes to the beach tomorrow because everyone's going to Garcel's beach house for a little getaway, and both of them are skeptical. Like, why are we going to dinner tonight? Sutton goes to confessional. We're going to dinner tonight because Kyle's trying to rally the troops. She's trying to make us feel sorry for her so that we support her when we get to the house with Dorit.
Correct.
That's 100. But here's what frustrates me about Kyle. One of many things. She thinks she's better than and smarter than the whole group.
Yes.
This isn't even a hard reach to figure out what you're trying to do. It's insulting to Garcel's intelligence. It's insulting to Sutton's intelligence. And you know what? It's insulting to our intelligence that you think we can't see through this shit.
Yeah, it really is. And it also just goes to show you there's probably zero examples of Kyle reaching out to just have a casual dinner with anybody.
It's always, anytime she sends a text that seems to be important, it always comes on the heels of something about to happen.
Something about to happen, or obviously
reunion,
cameras there, or whatever it might be. Like, her life is the show, and we get it. But now she's in a position that she hasn't really been in, and she's thinking, how do I get around this?
Yeah.
How do I just like start the communication? Because I don't want to go into this house with the last experience that these women had with me is me screaming and leaving.
Right.
Crying and leaving in some robe.
Telling them they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, because now I'm going to have to face the music.
Yeah.
Let me get ahead of this. Let's all sit down and have some dinner, but not Dorit.
Not Dorit.
No, not Dorit.
No.
And not Bose either, because she's Team Dorit.
She's on to me.
Yeah.
She's on to me. Let me
On
get
to
the
the stuff
people
I
I
do.
think I can sway
Yeah.
before we get to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, stupid move.
Now, by the way, Kyle allowed to go to Bose's to sit down and talk about whatever she wants.
Mhm.
No one else is.
No, God no.
How dare Garcelle go to Bose's too?
Yeah, could you believe
and talk
that?
to her about things that are going on.
To tell her about a text that you read openly to the
ridiculous.
table in front of cameras with a microphone on.
It's so ridiculous.
Secret conversation, dude.
So ridiculous.
Your secret conversation's in your phone with PK.
Yeah.
Not the one you shared on TV. Certainly that wouldn't cause an uproar.
Ooh.
Oh, it does. But whatever. We get to Arden, which is the restaurant they're going to with Erica, Kyle, Garcel, and Sutton. Garcelle arrives first, says, how are you? She goes, well, I'm better than last time, and I think I've just suppressed my feelings, and like you get a run through of the events. To sum it all up, Kyle feels betrayed
Yeah.
by what happened. Like,
Absolutely.
let's hold on. Let's really dig into just that part, okay? Just for a second. Kyle feels betrayed that this was brought up in front of the group, okay? Kyle, who we're going to get a montage of later, saying to multiple housewives from this show, if it's going to be brought up, we need to discuss it amongst the group. We all deserve to know. Unless it's about you, Kyle. The other part of this is you feel betrayed. You feel betrayed, but you don't see how Dorit could feel betrayed by seeing the fact that you're still texting her husband who she's separated from and saying things like, I've never shared anything you've told me and never will. But you feel betrayed because you were forced to read the betrayal text message that you sent to her husband.
That paints a pretty good picture.
Okay, cool.
But I will say, I'll raise you one more thing. At the age that these women are and their level of class, how are they acting like this?
Oh, dude. What? Like, what a fucking statement. What a statement to make.
We are too old and too classy to do
Like,
this, guys.
Shut up. Shut up. All right. Sutton stormed out of Magic Mike last year because she
Kyle,
didn't get
for
caught
the
up on
first time
stage.
in her life, had to deal with the show.
Yeah, you had to be on the receiving end of what you've put so many women through. Let's go talk to LVP.
Feel great.
Yeah, how's
Does
it
it
feel,
feel great?
Kyle? Like, it doesn't feel great, does it?
No,
But
we
you're
gotta
not
have a
used to
sit down.
this.
We need to talk about this. This is getting out of control, guys.
Yeah, stop coming at me like I came at you for so many
For a
years.
text message?
For a text message, like I didn't even
Between
do
friends,
anything
he's my
wrong.
brother.
I talked to him for 10 years, 7, 8 years, 6. I love PK. What's your problem? I didn't do anything wrong. The more you say you didn't do anything wrong, we said it last week, makes us think there's more to these texts.
Yep.
If you just shut up about it and said sorry, we would stop. I swear to God, we would stop talking about it.
Yeah.
We don't want to keep talking about the fucking text messages, but here we are. And Garcelle tries to speak some sense into the situation, which is what it's lacking. Like, that's the craziest part, is that Kyle can't put together why this is inappropriate. And by the way, she does know. She's not
She knows.
dumb.
Yeah, there's no way that she's that blind to it.
No, she's not. But Garcelle's like, if you admitted you talked some shit, It's a different story. Just tell her, like, hey, I was heated. I said some things. Like, I'm sorry. Won't happen again, but, like, I was mad at you. But no, you read the text, and the text says, I've never said anything, and I never will. And Garcelle points out that it's so black and white, dude.
It really is.
That is clearly more than memes and jokes. Kyle stumbles, doesn't have a quick response. He goes, well, of course there's text. I've known him for 7 years. Never about
Talk all the time.
It's never about Dorit though. Never about Dorit though.
That's like her next big thing.
That's her big
Again, the more that you say that, the more that we're gonna think we got to read the rest of these text messages.
And
Dorit's not gonna ask her to do it at this point, obviously.
no, because she wants to move forward.
Like that is where it's gonna go because you're pushing people that way.
Yeah, to the
That's
point.
the funniest part. You're trying to push people away from stuff. And while doing that, you're just pushing them further into shit that you don't want to talk about because you are guilty.
Yeah, and Garcelle's now in confessions going, the story's shifting. Story shifting. Originally, it's about memes and jokes. She maintained that for a very long time. You get a montage. Production. Nice work on the montage scenes because you're just throwing Kyle directly on.
Oh, yeah. They've had these ones stored up.
Yeah, and the bottom line, Garcelle says best, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And Kyle goes, everything's been scrutinized in my... This should be her tagline, honestly, because this paints the perfect picture of how hypocritical Kyle Richards is. Everything's been scrutinized in my life. My sexuality, my character, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. You're right. It has, Kyle. But let's go over why. All of the Morgan Wade skepticism came from you. Because you left it open-ended and did a bunch of ambiguous shit, such as a very steamy music video with the two of you in lingerie kissing. That's going to turn some heads and raise some questions when people are already wondering why you're touring with her, why she's tattooing your body, and why it's on screen, amidst rumors of you and Mo having marital problems. Okay? Now, you're getting scrutinized about your character because you admitted to texting PK whilst he and Dorit were separated with a text that says, I've never shared anything you've shared with me, and I never will.
After weirdly going on a press tour saying that you've never been friends with Dorit.
Right. So all of these things add up together are going to call into question your character, which once again is self-inflicted. And then for her to say, I pride myself on telling the truth. Hit the cutscene. Play the fucking montage. If things are brought up in the open, they need to be addressed by the group. You get another scene where it's like you need to be honest with the group. You get all of these scenes about you holding people to a higher standard than yourself when they're called into question. But the two times it happens to you, last year with Morgan Wade and your marriage, and now this year with this fucking text message, both times you have ran away, you've played victim, you pointed fingers everywhere else, you've gaslit every single woman on this show to the point that I'm questioning if you did something wrong. Am I crazy? That's literally the epitome of Kyle Richards. To go through all of this shit, self-inflicted wounds, 2 years in a row, and then question why people are questioning you, your merit, your character, your relationships, your marriage, Morgan Wade, all of these things, you fucking did it. And then when you're held to the fire, you go, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? Because of you, Kyle. Look in the mirror just one goddamn time and take a modicum of accountability. Just this much, just a little smidge. And guess what? Because you're Kyle fucking Richards, everybody will back off.
I don't know if everybody's going to back off, but you know that Dorit will.
Dorit will.
That's all Dorit wants.
You'll have Dorit and Erica
Also,
and a bridge forward eventually with Garcelle probably.
Maybe,
Sutton will
yeah.
come back into the fold eventually.
Sure.
Bose might be out on you. I do feel like there's an avenue
There
forward
is an
for her.
avenue only for her because of where she's built herself to be.
That's what I'm saying.
And again, it comes with the territory. You're on a reality TV show. Every housewife has had to go through this.
Yeah, except
you
her.
somehow haven't. And I get it. You've been on this show for 27 years or whatever the fuck it's been. So you've never had to deal with this. So you think this is just life. Finally, you took a left turn. Things are going wrong. Everybody has to deal with this on housewife shows.
And the funniest part is the seasoned vet does not know how to fucking handle it. Everyone else has been put through the
Because she
ringer.
excuses herself before she actually sees how things get resolved.
Well, no, she doesn't excuse herself. She blames everybody else, says they should be
Yeah.
ashamed of themselves, and storms out crying. And
Oh, I meant like in the past. She would
yeah.
like she's not going to hang around for the resolution.
no,
She just
doesn't
wants to be
have
part of the pitchfork gang.
That's right.
She wants to lead them.
The
Let's
funniest.
take this person down. Let's take that person down. All right, I'm going to go walk away now.
Let's tell Sutton that she overreacted at Magic Mike by storming out, and then I'm going to storm out in even grander fashion. And then nobody say anything about that though. It's just nuts. It's crazy. It's
Everybody leave
hypocrisy.
Kyle alone.
Leave Kyle alone.
But first, before we get back to the rest of Beverly Hills here, I want to talk to you guys quickly about Home Chef. And Home Chef has been on my mind for the last couple of weeks. It's too cold to go to the grocery store. Isn't it nice to just have things delivered to your house when it's nice and cold out?
I hate going to the grocery store when it's nice out. So yeah, I want this all year round. It makes my life significantly easier. As a private chef, I don't like to think about what I have to cook at home.
Yeah.
Okay? I have to think about it for work. So it's much nicer when I have it sent to me. The ingredients are there, the recipe's there, it's easy to follow. And if I don't have time to cook, they've got ready-made meals for the oven, the microwave, whatever you need.
Whatever you need, and you can look at their menu, take a look at anything that you like, whatever's up your alley. It takes all of the stress out of thinking about what you're going to have for dinner and meal planning throughout the week. Maybe you get a little bit busy. Open the fridge. There's a meal in there from Home Chef. And users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering our listeners 18 free meals, plus free dessert for life, and of course, free shipping on your first box. Go to homechef.com/bravbros. That's homechef.com/bravbros for 18 free meals and free dessert for life. homechef.com/bravbros. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert.
For life. But Erica arrives with Sutton, and Sutton is no bullshit this season, which I do appreciate, especially if she is going to take a turn towards villain. But she just goes, all right, why are we here? And Kyle's like, I wanted to apologize for how I left. And I stand by what I said, and I still feel that way. But I'm just sorry for how I left. And Sutton's like, well, why do you feel the need to apologize? I love the line of questioning.
It is a great line of questioning because you said you were going to apologize and then said, I'm not taking anything back.
Right.
So what are you apologizing for? Your theatrics?
She's defending.
Maybe? I think that might be it.
She's saying she's apologizing for the theatrics.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, all right.
Because she's saying I was defending my character. But Sutton goes to a confessional and she clarifies, I want Kyle to apologize for the fact that she holds herself to a different standard and just be accountable. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what we all want.
That's all we need.
Everybody watching this show just wants her to be accountable. And she's like, well, what did you say? Just recap it for us. She's like, well, I am sorry for all of it. I'm apologizing for all of it. Like, she's so rattled, she doesn't even know.
She doesn't want to apologize for anything specific.
No, because then it will put her in a bad spot where she's admitting wrongdoing.
Correct.
And she's holding on so hard to the fact that she's not
I'm
guilty.
surprised she didn't pull out I'm sorry that you guys felt that way about how I did things.
I was expecting an I'm sorry if.
Full time.
Yeah, but we didn't get that. We just got her. I'm apologizing for all of it. For all of it. Erica's like, leave her alone. She's going through a hard time. It's like, yeah, she is, but she's not making it any easier.
Nope.
She wants support from the group, but she keeps tearing the group down. Like that. You don't get support that way. I get where you're coming from, Erica. Yes, all of these women on this show have gone through shitty divorces, weird breakups, and yeah. Like,
you know who's going through a lot more right now?
Dorit. Because
you know who's going through a lot more because of Kyle now? Dorit.
Look at
It's
this.
very clear. It's just very black and white.
I know.
I don't get it.
I don't either. It's really, really frustrating. And Kyle's like, I've never behaved like that before. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? And
You've never had to be that defensive.
yeah, and she just plays the victim, and she's like, I felt friendless, and I felt overwhelmed. And Sutton just says that she was surprised. And she's like, you yelled at me for doing the same thing when I stormed out last year in Vegas. And Garcelle sums up the whole scene. It's like, Kyle clearly wanted to just smooth things over because she just wants allies. She wants to know that she has support going into beach weekend or beach night, whatever it is.
Beach night.
And that's what this whole thing was about, which again is disrespectful to those invited, other than Erica, because she just wants it all to be over.
And that's the thing too. Like, if you want to do that and that's your goal, and everybody knows it's going to be your goal, you have to actually apologize.
Yeah.
And look, it might still end with one of the people sitting there saying, you need to do all of this with Dorit, or completely remove it from us.
Right.
Because we can't deal with it anymore. But you have to apologize to us if you're going to do that. You can't go into this insulting their intelligence, thinking that they're not going to understand what's going on, and then also not apologize.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's not how you get people on your team.
No.
I guess she's never had to get people on her team before because she always had people there.
That's a good point. Even when she feuds with one friend, she's got other friends
Yeah.
like backing her up, or Kesha.
And like right now, Eric is shading towards her, but she's not actively going for her.
After I said that, I would argue this episode pushed her more towards the middle and
Yeah,
just be like,
I
can we
agree.
fucking end this, please? Because it's overdrawn now. But the girls meet up at Kyle's because they're headed to the beach and they're all meeting there to take the cars. And Bose is upset. She gets no apology for the way that Kyle left her house, which, you know, I
Fair.
agree. Yeah, that's a valid thing. And it's also, you can tell Bose is now just like keeping a tally.
Yeah.
Like, all right, lied about this, thrown out of my house, caused a scene, didn't say sorry. Okay, cool, check. And then Dorit arrives and shares again why what she's going through really fucking sucks. Because she's talking about her 8-year-old Jagger, who's like, can I talk to you, mama? Are you and daddy divorced? Did you post something on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
Then we get like the dum-dum of the Instagram post, which is gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
That sucks to have that conversation. And he ends it with like, you guys are always going to be best friends, right? It's like, oh my God, this is
Brutal.
awful. We should take as much time as humanly possible to let Dorit say her piece, how she's feeling. Let's comfort her and get her through this because, God, I don't want to have that conversation with my kid. She's got to be going through it. No. Not one person's face changes.
Bose's did.
That's it.
Yep.
Literally everyone else
Bose.
is just
Yep.
blank face staring at her. And as she's talking, Sutton, it's funny. It's sad. It's funny. Interrupts and goes, speaking of best friends, like just jumps right in.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oof. And then she keeps going. She's like, we really need to go. And by the way, Garcelle doesn't, I get what she was trying to do.
I know exactly what she was
She's
trying
trying to nip it
Yep.
in the bud and be like, there's no drama this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Garcelle made it very clear, no drama, guys. And she's trying to just stop it there.
Is a dumb move anyway.
Very
There's
dumb.
always drama.
That's the
It's gonna
point.
happen regardless. You don't need to voice this. It's not gonna you're not gonna get a gold star in Garcelle's book when she goes back and watches this.
Right.
It's funny that it happened.
Very funny. Sad.
Very, very sad. Then a little funny. But overall, it's very odd to me because you would think that these women would be better equipped to maybe help out.
For sure. And you'd also think with the way that Kyle's moving,
Yeah.
they'd want to be more on Team Dorit.
Or if you're Kyle, you might see this as a grand opportunity to squash everything right now.
Perhaps.
You could just be nice to her, maybe give her a hug and say, that's really fucking hard. I don't know how you're going through that because my kids are older or anything. And you know what? I think Dorit would take that as an apology
Oh
and
my
you guys
God.
could move on right away.
It would be a
It would be
huge
the
step.
biggest thing ever. And it's the easiest thing. It's served on a silver platter. That's all you had to do. Kyle goes stone-faced. Sutton speaks up and just completely cuts her off. How does this happen?
It was insane. But to her credit, I will always give credit where credit's due. At least Kyle acknowledges Sutton doing that, where she's like, "Oof, that was a bad timing. She shouldn't have done that. She shouldn't have." Again, funny, but it was fucked up. The biggest thing, like you said, with Kyle, that would have been such an easy,
so
just
easy.
I'm so sorry,
Uh-huh.
and then you move on. Whatever. We get to the beach and Tilly being Tilly, we got a $700 Dolce & Gabbana toaster
Fuck
from
yeah.
Schmeg.
Hell yeah.
That thing looks sick. I want
Looks
one.
awesome,
I
yeah.
want one. And you know what? I got blues
It
and
would
whites.
actually work in your kitchen, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I am not going to buy a Dolce & Gabbana $700 toaster.
Could be cool.
There might be a refurbished one.
Refurbished toaster?
Yeah, dude. Whoa.
My first
Whoa.
thought was, if one of us had that toaster, would we actually toast shit in it?
I probably would.
Yeah,
I would.
too.
But you don't know about the refurbished life, my guy?
Refurbished toaster is the
Refurbished.
last thing that I think of.
When it's a $700, there's refurbished.
trust
pretty
refurbished
much
things.
any kitchen appliance you can buy refurbished.
Yeah, I don't trust refurbished things. I can't say that.
Yeah, maybe
I
that's
say
why you don't
that?
trust it. Because
Yeah.
you can't pronounce
I
it.
can't say trust refurbished. Yeah, oh, there we go. I said it right that time.
Now you can buy refurbished stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job. But we get to the beach, and Sutton's wearing a 1950 swimsuit, which is awesome. And I love these lines. This is like when guys walk into a dude hangout and they say some stupid shit. They're like, oh, here comes trouble. This is a bunch of uber wealthy housewife cast members from Beverly Hills riding in golf carts to the beach from Garcelle's brand new beautiful beach house. There goes the neighborhood. Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
boy.
People look at these two golf carts like, oh, look out for this crew. Like, I love
I just
those.
saw a $700 toaster going into that house. There goes the neighborhood.
Fuck out of here, dude. They just drove from that beautiful brand new beach house in golf carts.
Yeah.
Oh boy, these wacky ladies. But
We're going to go drink on the beach.
oh god, and not like we do back in the day when we'd
Yeah.
like hide it in water bottles. They have a bar set up
Just
with a
hide it in
bartender.
cups now, but yeah.
But whatever. What I did appreciate, thank God, is that we just get into it right away.
Yep.
We don't waste any time. Kyle goes up to Dorit and says, "Hey, can we go chat?" I appreciated the fact that Kyle made the effort to go
Great
get
setting
her.
too. Beautiful walk on the beach.
Yeah.
Let's go sit down. Now it looked really windy and cold there at the time.
It
but,
looked miserable out
but
there.
I mean, it's really cold here. Well, it's not that cold here today.
Today was
Very
nice.
windy.
It was like 49. It was nice.
But
It
still,
looked pretty.
it looked
but it
pretty.
looked-
It was a good setting.
Pretty but chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, let's go talk. And they sit down on the beach, and you can feel it's lighter. Like, you know where this is going
Yeah.
because they're on the beach and
Uh-huh.
they're finally one-on-one. And I like Dorit sticking to it, starting it out with, "Did you consider us good friends?" I'm glad Kyle just said
Great
yes.
question. Yep.
But I'm glad she said yes,
Mhm.
not yes, but yes, and yes, if, yes.
We can move past that finally.
Great, let's move forward. Do you want to salvage this friendship? Yes. I'm like, all right, at least you're handling this well. Good start.
Affirmatives.
Yeah, we get affirmatives,
Yeah.
affirmations.
Yep.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get to the never repeated comment. Never repeated anything you said. Dorit, we've seen her do this last episode. We're watching her do it now. She's offering you an out.
Yes.
That's all this is.
Yep.
She doesn't believe it. She doesn't care
She
if
already
you
has it
believe it.
rationalized in her own head.
Yes. You just need to say yes, which you do,
Mhm.
but you do it in your own way by saying no to her, which is the
Uh-huh.
funniest shit ever. She's like, "I know you were just saying you're a friend." She goes, "No, what I said was I'm a safe space."
Bad.
What's the fucking difference?
Bad move?
Why could you not just say, "Yeah, you're right. I just
As a
went to-"
friend, yes, I would not divulge anything that we've spoken about when it comes to you.
What's the-
Personally, you, not your relationship. That's all you have to say.
You literally just repeated what Dorit said,
Mhm.
but you just used a different word.
Yep.
You said safe space instead of friend.
Correct.
Just so you could combat her once more.
Mhm.
Really fucking annoying, but Dorit stays on task, which is good. She's like, "Look, this is why it's inappropriate. This is why it's not okay. I just separated with my husband. I thought we were very close friends. I thought we were best friends." That's what she really wants to say. Do you not see where the disconnect is? Because now I'm questioning, are you loyal to me or are you loyal to PK? Which is the most valid question,
Mhm.
especially for somebody that considered herself your close friend. It's not goddamn rocket science.
Yeah, Dorit didn't mince any words either.
No, she was
She
very
didn't
to the
give
point.
Kyle any outs. She didn't make anything about something else that has nothing to do with this. She just stayed on task the
Yeah.
entire time. Asked all of the questions that we've been wondering. Not even really wondering. We know the answer to all of this. But she asked her directly to her face the questions that Kyle needs to answer.
Yes.
Without a group setting, without anything else, no other bullshit. Let's sit down as friends and I will ask you all of the questions that you need to answer, which you didn't have to answer
You just
before
need to
you brought them up.
acknowledge.
None of this would have happened if you didn't keep going.
Correct.
So now you have to answer for all of the things that you've put out there.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And she's like, again, like, if you are my friend, I expect you to share information with me when you're talking to my husband. I think that's pretty
Reasonable.
fucking fair.
Yeah.
Even if they're like, even if you're not separated.
Mhm.
Like, that's just information that you share with your spouse or your best friend if they're talking to your best friend's spouse. That's a weird dynamic. It could be a weird dynamic unless you're on the up and up about it. Just tell her.
And even weirder, which Dorit didn't really get into, but very weird that we're not talking and you're talking to my husband.
Yes.
That's the weirdest part about all of this. But look, I understand we can't address everything today.
She's just trying to move it forward, trying to move it forward. And Kyle's like, "I didn't think about choosing sides. I didn't know." It's like, fuck, man, stop talking.
Yep.
Because Dorit knows that you knew because we have a cutscene from last year of Dorit telling you. So yes, you did know. And in that moment, when Dorit's telling you, "I'm having marital issues," that's when the text should have stopped. "Hey, PK, you're my friend. I care about you. I'm uncomfortable having these conversations while you and Dorit are going through what you're going
That
through."
would be a girl's girl.
That's a girl's girl. What's not a girl's girl is, "Fuck you, Dorit. PK sends funny memes."
That's actually why Kyle wasn't invited to her daughter's lunch. She's not a real girl's
Oh,
girl.
shit. Shots fired. Shots fired. But yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Dorit sums it up with what you expect from me. This is a great way to put it. It's going to go over Kyle's head because she doesn't think that she holds herself to a different standard. But what you expect from me, I want that same respect. Okay? And I want to have conversations where we can share and build our trust back.
Yep.
Dorit did what she had to do to move this along. This was not Dorit's job. She did not need to be the one offering these outs, offering a way forward, trying to come to some kind of agreement to be able to be friends again. But that shows you how important this friendship is to Dorit, which makes this whole thing even more tragic and even sadder that Kyle can't recognize that because she goes to confessional and she's like, if that's what Dorit needs, okay, but I feel bad for PK, but what?
Yeah, there is no but.
I don't-
This should have just been so plain for her to hear.
It's
It's like every time that she has a conversation with anybody, whether it's Dorit or Erica or Garcelle or Sutton, she just doesn't see how easy it is and how plain it is.
it could be so quick.
And this is when my mind is just doing flips too, because I don't understand how she doesn't see it. And then I start thinking, does she see it, but she just refuses to actually acknowledge that she did something wrong? I don't know anymore.
I don't think so.
I just don't know. I think that she has her own way of thinking,
I
and
think she has her
way of
own
thinking
reality.
Is PK's never done anything to me personally,
Bingo.
so
Yes.
why would I drop a friendship with him just because you have issues with him?
Because I've had
That's
shit
what
with
I
you.
get.
I've had a lot of shit with you, Dorit, none with PK.
Yep, not a girl's girl.
No, that's not a friend.
Nope.
That's not a friend. That's all.
Yep.
You ride with your friends' ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
This idiot's pissed me off plenty of times. I know for damn sure I pissed him off.
Yep.
We're still besties and we always will be.
Yep.
Even
Hold hands every time that we finish.
yeah. Yeah, fuck it. Sure, why not?
We're talking about the podcast, by the
Yeah,
way.
totally. But gross. Dinner. We're at dinner. Kyle and Dorito okay, which is, Erica's like, thank God I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. We all are, so we're hoping that this sticks at
Little
least
fried
for-
chicken on the beach with some sand in it.
I would cry. It's just a little crunchier.
Yeah.
It's a little crunchier.
The
With the wind
skin's
blowing,
the
there's
best part
There's
though.
definitely sand on the
Definitely
chicken.
sand in the
There's
skin. and that's-
Definitely. You know what? I haven't had fried chicken in so long. That
neither.
sounds so fucking
Yeah, it
good.
sounds really good.
Oh my God. Maybe I'll make some fried chicken.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, and different than a cutlet too. Not even like
No, not a cut. I want a fried
actual
thigh.
fried. Yeah.
Oh God, that sounds amazing. I'm so fucking hungry right now. What are we talking about? Beverly Hills?
Chicken.
Chicken. Oh man. When's the last time you had Popeyes?
Long time.
Ooh, I might need to do a Popeyes
We
run.
used to do the KFC bowl.
Yeah, I remember that when we go on the
Yeah.
baseball trip.
Oh yeah.
we,
Mashed potatoes, popcorn chicken.
how did we
There
not?
was something else in there. I got heartburn every time that I ate
Cheese
it.
and
Cheese
gravy.
And gravy. Yep.
And we would drink beers
Mhm.
all night.
Yep.
We would wake up. We would eat Golden Corral for
Yep.
breakfast. Go to
Sure would.
practice.
Mhm.
Eat Shake Shack or KFC bowls for lunch.
Yep.
Have a game,
Mhm.
and then drink beers all night.
Yeah.
And not one person
Go
shit
to the
their
Golden
pants.
Corral again for dinner.
Go to Golden Corral for dinner, and not one person shit their pants that I know of.
Sometimes it was Salisbury steak night.
Oh, I kind of want to go to Golden Corral too.
Yeah.
Where were we? Let's finish this shit up. Look, that's it. They do the lantern thing, and I had to. I thought they should have cut this scene
Why?
because I thought they were gonna light them. I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna work.
Uh-huh.
And given what's
windy.
going on in California, maybe let's not
Oh.
show fire lanterns on a windy day at the beach in California.
Fair point.
Like when they were doing, it, I'm like, ooh, really?
Yeah.
It's not the best time
Yeah.
at all.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, but luckily they didn't light any of them.
We also were able to weirdly get through a game without any fights.
There was no fights. It was actually a
fights at
nice
all.
game.
Yep.
They had an actual
Yep.
time to play a game without people yelling at each other.
Yep. Potentially talking about having sex with somebody else's husband for $10
money,
million?
or $20 million, or if like it's indecent proposal
Yeah.
is the basis of if somebody offered you X amount of money to have sex with your spouse, what would that number be?
Mhm.
Yeah, so fun times.
Fun times. Great
But
times
I
with the girls.
have to bring this up.
Yeah, go for it.
The episode starts with a bird flying into the window,
Mhm.
which Kyle says, "What does that bird mean?" The episode ends with a dead bird on the beach. Foreshadowing?
Possible.
Omen? Coincidence? I think not.
Same bird? Who knows?
No, it wasn't. The first one was little, and that was looked like a pigeon actually,
Yeah,
which is
that's
strange.
Yeah.
You'd think it would be a seagull. It looked pigeon-esque.
Birds aren't real.
Yeah, they're They're robots. Everybody knows that.
They're listening to us.
Birds are dinosaurs.
Let's
get to some questions.
some of my favorite memes when it's a chicken and he's looking up in the sky and it's a T-Rex. T-Rex is saying, "Remember who you are." The Lion King music.
Dinosaurs aren't dead because birds are dinosaurs and they're everywhere.
Hey, let's get some questions.
If you know that movie I just quoted and that obscure quote from that movie, I'll send you a t-shirt.
From Janice Frillman, $700 toaster. Does it actually work?
Who cares? It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a great piece for the kitchen.
That's not a toaster. That's art.
Yep.
It was really pretty. I really liked it.
From Captain 6180, we kind of covered this. We really covered this. Is it normal to have a sponsor call for a separation? People really need to ask that question more because it's not.
No, it would look like I said. I think I hope I did a good job. If the guy's there to help mediate and step in if needed and speak on PK's behalf, if it's an actual moment or PK's triggered, yes, it is okay.
Correct.
Not for him to speak entirely with no. Because here's the thing. Yes, you're concerned about PK's well-being. Absolutely, in sobriety, he might be an asshole, but I don't wish him ill on that journey. At the same time, part of sobriety is being cognizant of how you're affecting the other people that are going through this journey. So just because PK's now safe, you also have to take into account Dorit's feelings.
Yes.
And they completely left her out to dry, clearly. So that was wildly mishandled. Yeah.
Wildly. From Zoe Kudla Pole, Kyle hasn't told any secrets. She outed her sister's addiction in season 1. So not a friend, not a girl's girl, not a sister's sister.
And the hits keep on coming.
Yes, they do. From Ryan Stoneman 83, the episodes are always better with Tilly. Am I wrong? You are not wrong.
Tilly's the GOAT.
You are wrong most of the time, Ryan, but not this time.
No, I have the biggest crush on Jennifer Tilly. I think she's awesome. She's so great.
We'll do 2 more here. From Drew Blackwell Photo, Kyle made up with Dorit to get everyone off of her back, not because she likes her.
Yes.
Yes, I fully agree with
You are
that
correct.
one. And yeah. And last one here from Jacqueline Michelle Kress. Did you actually believe Kyle's dumb sorry at that sham of a dinner? No. Again,
No.
it's pretty much the same answer to that.
It was a move.
It's a move to just try to get people to get off of her back because she doesn't know how to handle it.
She didn't take any actual accountability
Nope.
in that apology. It's
She
just
did not.
Dorit moving the train forward. That's all.
Yep. Correct, though. But yeah, that's all we got there.
Well, you got anything else?
Nope. I'm good on my end.
No, that's our show. Bro's got to go.